Amex is ruining their cards, and I'm convinced that either they have their head in the sand thinking they're adding real value for their customers by giving more $10 monthly credits, or they're just picking our pockets with a smile at this point by raising their annual fees every chance they get. Multiple cards had their annual fees increased by $50 to $100 in some cases, and the minimum spending requirement to keep one premium benefit that everyone wants costs $75,000 now. And the Platinum Card sign-up bonus is harder to hit than ever before. So I was just looking at the latest updates on the AMEX Platinum Card, and honestly, there are quite a few changes that might make you want to sit down and rethink your strategy with this card. First off, they've hiked up the annual fee for adding authorized users. It used to be $175 per year for up to 3 users, but now it jumped up to $195 for each user. Now let's talk numbers. If you're bringing in 3 authorized users, the cost has rocketed from an extra $175 a year to a steep $585 on top of the primary card's $695 annual fee. And that's without any new perks or benefits. Ouch. This definitely hits traveling families hard, especially with the removal of free guest privileges at Amex Centurion lounges. It's like everything's getting pricier. For those with just one extra user, the increase is minor, just $20 more per year. But it's a different story if you've got a bigger group. And speaking of costs, guest fees at lounges like Delta Sky Clubs and Centurion lounges are now a flat fee of $50, which can add up quickly. This might make it less appealing to add on authorized users if you're not frequenting the lounges often. And that's not all though. If you're aiming for the welcome offer, get ready to spend more. The spending requirement has increased by $2,000, which means you need to shell out $8,000 in the first 6 months. And for those who like playing the field with different versions of the Platinum Card, like the ones from Charles Schwab or Morgan Stanley, there's bad news there too. Amex is putting a stop to earning multiple welcome offers across these co-branded cards. Another downside is that Audible isn't part of the monthly entertainment credit anymore. Sure, they've added the Wall Street Journal, but it's not quite as valuable in my opinion. So yeah, a lot has changed with the Platinum Card. It's like we're drowning in fees. You know how it used to be sort of okay to pay $175 to add up to 3 extra people to your card, right? Now looking back, that's looking like an absolute bargain with the new rates they've rolled out. And let's not even dive into the whole deal with the welcome bonus. They've cranked up the spending requirement so high, it's becoming a real tough pill to swallow, especially since the Platinum cards aren't good for everyday spending. When it comes to the ban on bonus stacking, it looks like it hasn't affected the Morgan Stanley version yet, since it doesn't have the updated language in the terms of service. Now, just like me, you're probably wondering why all these changes are happening. I think it really comes down to lowering the amount of people that can get access to those high-end airport lounges. They probably focused on making that more of a luxury experience by fixing the overcrowding issues. You know, it sort of feels like Amex finally caught on to that tons of people were getting the card mainly for lounge access for their 5-person family and not really using it much elsewhere. Seems like they decided it was time to tighten up the reins a bit. And Amex decided to mess with their business gold card as well. Starting February 1st of 2024, they're hiking up the annual fee from $295 to $375. That's right, an extra $80 every year. And they're axing a few perks that many people find valuable too. You know how you used to get 4x membership rewards points on stuff like airfare bought directly from airline and US shipping? Yeah, not anymore. And I've got to say, losing the 4x points on shipping is a real blow, especially for businesses that rely heavily on shipping services like e-commerce stores. If you're shipping out thousands of items every single month, that change is a major deal breaker. Those points can add up to a huge chunk of savings, and seeing them disappear overnight is just bad. Here's another kicker though. They're scrapping the 25% airline bonus. This was such a cool feature where you get a 25% rebate when redeeming points on flights. From February 2024, that's gone too. For anyone who frequently travels for business and use their points for flights, this change really dents the overall value that the card used to offer. And I'm concerned about their other cards, you know? What's stopping them from doing the same with the 35% rebate on the Business Platinum? I know people, and you probably do too, who would drop their Platinum cards like a hot potato if that happened. The thing is, the rebate is one of the few straightforward ways to really squeeze value out of these cards. Without it, well, it's hard to see the appeal of sticking around. No matter how you slice it or how many fancy coupon book credits and new limited bonus categories they throw in, hiking up the annual fee is always going to sting a little bit. That's why I almost exclusively use credit cards with no annual fees, so I never have to worry about fee increases like that. I signed up for the Divvy corporate card early this year and they approved me for a $2,000 limit. I can say from personal experience, there's no hard credit pull either, so this won't affect your personal credit whatsoever. It earns 7x points on dining, and if you have employees, then you can issue up to 70 physical and virtual cards that you have complete control over. So if one of your employees is doing deliveries and they need to pay for gas, you can allow limited access to pay for just gas purchases. They even report your good payment history to the Small Business Financial Exchange so you can build business credit too. Definitely hit the link below to apply for the Divvy card. So let's talk about the Delta Sky Club and the massive changes with which Amex cards can access them. Starting on January 1st of 2024, if you're flying basic economy, you can kiss goodbye to Sky Club access if you're a cardholder. That's not the only change though. Holders of the Amex Delta Platinum and Delta Platinum business cards are going to lose the perk of buying Sky Club visits. But wait, there's more. From February 1st of 2025, there's going to be a new cap on visits for both personal and business versions of the Amex Platinum and Delta Reserve cards. If you got the Delta Reserve card, you'll be limited to 15 Sky Club visits each program year. And yes, you'll have to pay for any guest too. And for the Amex Platinum card holders, your limit is going to be 10 visits per year, but the same deal for guest access. Now, if you're thinking, but I need unlimited Sky Club access, there's still a way to keep it. But here's the kicker. You need to spend a pretty high amount of $75,000 annually on your card. And yeah, this new spending threshold kicks off on January 1st of 2024. With all of these new restrictions coming up, if you're someone who heavily relies on lounge access and tends to go for the cheapest flights in basic economy, you might have to think about getting a Sky Club membership on your own. An individual membership will set you back $695 per year. And for my friends with the Amex Platinum card, I get it. All these new visit limitations sound pretty daunting. But don't forget, you still have alternatives like the Centurion Lounge or finding a priority pass location. But honestly, all these changes kind of dilute the whole appeal of having an Amex card, right? And think about it. With fewer people getting into the Sky Clubs, I'm betting those Centurion lounges are going to be even busier. That is, unless Amex decides to follow suit and tighten up its lounge access rules there too. However, if you're like many people who fly just a few times a year and keep that Amex Platinum around for the occasional travel perks, that might actually be good news since it would immediately reduce the overcrowding issue that so many complain about. So Hilton Honors and recently Amex threw another curveball at us with their Hilton card lineup. The Hilton Surpass Amex card is jumping from $95 to $195 per year, and the Hilton Aspire card, that's going from $450 all the way up to $550 per year. Yeah, that's quite the jump. And starting February 1st of 2024, card members are going to lose out on those 10 free yearly visits to Priority Pass airport lounges. That's a pretty valuable perk for anyone who travels a lot, and seeing it disappear is a tough pill to swallow. That perk alone was a big deal for many. Now, about those resort credits for the Hilton Aspire card. While there is an increase by the total amount, they are splitting it semi-annually. This means you've got to be more strategic and maybe even a little lucky with your timing to get the most out of these credits. Definitely makes things more complicated for folks who relied on these for their getaways. And here's another change that's got some card members talking: the airline fee credits. Gone are the days of the straightforward $250 annual airline fee credit. Instead, they're replacing it with up to $200 in annual statement credits toward airfare, doled out in $50 increments each quarter. Now, sure, it might sound more flexible, but if you were one of those who really took advantage of the full airline fee credits, it's pretty clear that this new setup is a downgrade since you can't use the whole credit in one go. They decided to dole it out piece by piece like a coupon book again. You run a high risk of not receiving the full credit throughout the year if your travel doesn't line up properly. So yeah, a lot of shifting pieces with the Hilton cards. And that hike in the annual fee for Hilton cards is enough to make anyone do a double take. I mean, it's almost like Hilton and Amex are daring you to justify the cost. If you want real value from all of their cards, you better be ready to go all in. But hey, there is a little bit of a silver lining because they did add the new Clear credit. Now, this might actually have some folks thinking over whether they still need their Amex Green card since that's one of the benefits there too. I think the Aspire card is best suited for those who are regulars at Hilton's more upscale spots. As for the Surpass card, it's more for the high rollers who aren't shy about dropping down $15,000 on their card for a stay at a Hilton property. And about the no annual fee honors cards, yeah, let's just say it's not exactly a good value there. It's really only good for the welcome bonus, and that's about it. You know what? All this makes me leery about what might be next for Amex's personal gold and platinum card. If they follow suit with changes like this, it's going to cause some massive changes in how people value their cards. I'm just hoping Amex hits the brakes on these annual fee increases for a bit. And personally, I always gravitate towards cards with 0 annual fees. I made a whole list of over 50 cards that overwhelmingly charge no annual fees and show pre-approval status with no hard credit pull. I'll leave a link to that list below, and check out the next video where I show the 5 credit cards to get pre-approved for first. Thank you for watching.